Hey everyone, welcome to June's Garden Update. That we did just try recording, but for some reason the file didn't save. But we are using new camera, new microphone setup, which maybe won't look that much different this time, but hopefully in future we'll get some much better quality footage and stuff. But we'll see. But let's start looking at some herbs. As you can see, this thyme down here isn't doing so well. It's just died. No idea why. It was great. It's been great for a couple of years. But the mints are doing fantastic. This apple mint is amazing. And I've always liked apple mint tea, but this is my favourite tea to make at the moment. It's just taking a leaf, putting it in a cup, hot water, sorted. It's a tree that we had growing in a pot, and we're redoing the pots, and we want to go and find some outside the garden where this can plant, because we don't want to just, you know, get thrown away. But yeah, peppermint's doing amazing. Lemon balm. My normal garden mint had got eaten by, all the roots been eaten by vine weevils, but we found this just growing like down the side of the hedge. We planted it on, it's doing great now. Pineapple mint still doing pretty nicely. Blackcurrant sage, obviously in flower right now, looking incredible. It's a bit too big, it needs cutting back, but while we've got these flowers, we're not going to touch it. Obviously absolutely fab. And talking of sage, obviously like the normal garden sage is been flowering here. Gave this a really hard cut back this year because it's really old, it's very woody, but yeah, it's come back beautifully. So much new growth. Our lilies here looking fab. The flowers don't last very long, but when they're out they're absolutely brilliant. This herb garden here, this will be renovated a little bit. I wanted to get some new plants this year, not been able to get out to garden centres and get any, but obviously like the heads of the Angelica, like these flower heads are looking fantastic. Generally I'd expect this to be about 3 foot taller, an Angelica. I don't know why it's small, but you know, could be a mutation, just the way it goes sometimes. But that's part of the fun of gardening. Bit messy here, a lot of these plants we're going to be potting on, they're going out in the garden, sort of like, you know, so all of these bits. We were hoping to do that last weekend, but we ran out of time. And we've got like the ornamental herb garden here. It looks very messy, but everything in here should be in here and is not doing too badly. But this is, you know, one of the things. We'll look at it, we'll think about what we need in here. It's a bit messy, maybe we'll take something out, and we'll definitely put some other stuff in to maybe give some more structure. We've got a lot of perennials, which you'll see in a minute, and we'll probably bring some of those in here to help with that. Partly you can have an issue is if you've got like, here's 10 plants, they're all different, and you plant them all, depending on what they are. Yes, if they're big shrubs, they'll probably work, but other stuff that's smaller, like your perennials, your annuals, you want to plant them in clusters. So we might have a little bit of a thing going on in here where we don't have anything that's really big and structural in its own right. So even, you know, there's a lot of shrubs in here, they're smaller, they're a bit spindly, so we do better with like some clusters of planting to really bring some more structures in. But you know, see blueberries here, they're starting to, they won't be too long before we can harvest them, but they're all nicely formed now. These ones are actually turning blue. These are 2 different varieties, which is why the leaves are different. Our cold frame greenhouse is mainly empty of plants right now, just a few bits on the top that we've, and then over here, this is everything that was in there. These are all the perennials, or most of them. They're nearly all ready to start thinking about going out. And a lot of the holes in the garden, in the beds, these are all going to go out, fill it all up, and it'll be marvellous. This is amazing at the top here, this cornus, this dogwood, really big, really dominating. The grasses have come up, and we've got these 2 great sight lines, because we can't see directly down, we see right out over the garden, and draws your eye that way. And then we've got this shot down here too. This fennel, which is a weed, is looking amazing, really doing well. Better than my fennels did that were in the garden. Probably saw last month, here's like the temporary rabbit run that we've had to make while we couldn't get out and buy a good one. And here we've got all the Erigean, which is great. It spreads, it grows through cracks, it looks amazing, and I want more of it, and I want it to grow everywhere. Everywhere there's a crack in the pavement, all up the bits, I want it, and I probably need to grow some more from seed or even pick some up and get more planted around, because it's one of my favourite things. You go down to Cornwall, you're on holiday down there, you'll see a lot of that there. Over here, The sweet rocket that was here last month is nearly finished, it's still here. This is a biennial, so once it's flowered it dies, so we've been taken out as it's been dying back. But these thistles you can see, nearly ready to flower. These will be, I think this is a white one rather than purple. They tend to be white or purple. Probably soon they'll be covered with bees when they're right out. This is still flowering beautifully down here. It's a little bit bitty, there's some spots, and some of the perennials will get in here to really get this filled out. In the middle of the garden here, you'll see we've got a bunch of perennials. Like got dianthus and verbena. They're going to go out. Some of the bits up there, over here too. Actually, these are just about to flower, and we're starting to get some of the stuff's like more together and going well. This is generally good. You can see the roses here. We need to deadhead these, but yeah, the flowers are looking pretty great. This is what, fortunately, this one is unscented. Tattie's been doing quite a bit of work over here. She sort of took this sort of wall down, pulled out some weeds now that the hedge has been cut back, and just got to get that finished being built back up, get the soil in, and then we'll work out what needs to be planted in here, because there's obviously a lot of bare soil. But these, we've got the mini alpines that are doing really well. Here we've got a lot more space where we'd cut back the hedge, and we'll, like some of those verbena will go there, they'll grow tall, we'll get height, so we've got height coming back through. Obviously this grass and some of the other bits that are in here will be coming up more anyway, to give more of a sense of sort of impact and like sweep and flow. And yeah, all down the back we'll get stuff that's hopefully quite tall, and we'll probably get a tree that will be about this tall right in the middle of this. You can see these lavatera though at the back flowering. Over here, cherries just starting to ripen up, you can see. Hopefully they don't all get eaten by bugs and birds. Sadly, because of like the weather, we'd have liked to have filmed this like a week or 10 days ago. The weather's just been awful every day, and this is the first week we've had any kind of sun for a few days. But this rose was completely covered in white flowers. The smell was amazing, all the way, all up on top. I do have a little video of that I might post on the end. And then there's jasmine that climbs up, and the scent has just been incredible. It's a shame you couldn't really see it, but that's just the weather sometimes. We've missed being out with it a lot, even though we could see it from the house. Plums are over here. Got lots up here. Last year we didn't pick them early enough, and then we had like a storm and a lot fell and they were damaged, and we didn't get as many as we should have done. But this is generally looking pretty good in here. We want a bit more stuff down at the front. That'll be some of those perennials that go in here, some of the smaller ones that will spread, tumbling forward with flowers. We've got in here, you can see the mock orange. It's a shrub, it's easy to grow, it's easy to maintain, it grows pretty quickly, it has amazing flowers you can see, and they actually smell of orange. And so yeah, I would highly recommend this as one to look at for your gardens if you want something. And you can see here, this blackberry, which is thornless, just starting to form, like the flower, we had the flowers, and it's just starting to form the fruits. Not really touched anything here. This is something that needs quite a bit of work. These obelisks need to come out with the new obelisks that we want, but because it's too late in the season, we're not been able to get to the shop and buy them. That'll probably have to happen over the winter now. And then replanting all of the front with some new perennials as well. There's a lot of bare soil. And one of the things we're trying to do with the garden is get a succession of colour and flowers. You don't want everything flowering at once. We've definitely had an issue with the garden where a lot of things were flowering in the spring. So it'd be great through April and May and into June, but then from like the middle of June through to sort of August, we had like a little bit too much of a lull. So a lot of things we bought, we've been trying to target them the last couple of years, that they'll be flowering from this point on through. So hopefully July, if we've done okay, we'll have quite a bit of colour. But lower patio, Tattie's been doing some work down here today. We're looking pretty good over here in this corner. We've left this hosta in this pot so far. It was just some shoots, some of the last videos, just because like it gives a bit more height and gives some impact rather than being in. We'll probably come down over here. We might move this fern forward. We're talking about, rather than putting another big tree in the middle like we thought, maybe a conifer at the back to mirror these two of some kind. You can see the clematis is flowering over here, really beautiful, and this rose, which is scented, which we put in last year, is climbing quite nicely up now. And we've got the foxgloves too. These are just self-seeded, but we've got some more that will come in here. We've got the white ones there. Over here, we're growing a cat. You might be surprised, but cats are quite easy to grow. You know, you just need, this slate is good for them to come out of. You just got to feed and water them occasionally. They respond well to a bit of love. And if you do that, you'll have a very happy cat, bring you a lot of years of joy in your garden. You might need to install some shade for them though. Not been able to get out this barbecue this year. This is the charcoal one. We've got a gas grill too, just because we can't get out to a shop without a car to get charcoal. Over here, you can see blackcurrants. Now, we haven't got as many on here as you'd really expect on a good blackcurrant plant, and they're a bit small, and they've never done well. We've got 4 plants in here. What we're actually probably going to do this year is, we'll take them out towards the end of the season. We'll pop them on in some fresh compost to see if, cause it could be soil they don't like, the site. One of the plants is just really old anyway, it might just be past its best. The other ones were quite cheap, so maybe they're just not much crop. And then we'll probably get a couple of new ones to put in there, and then maybe these will go somewhere else. You can see we've got strawberries looking very nice here. We've had lots of strawberries. They're all along here, some good use of space. In here we've got gooseberries. They're very firm at the moment. When they've got a bit more give, they'll be ready to pick. And here we've got our red currants. Again, really good crops. This is more what I expect the black currants. This profusion, that size. The clematis is just starting to finish flowering. The flowers are dying back. They're sort of kind of almost like a double flower. The outer flower's gone. Under here we've got some chards, we've got some beetroot growing, protected from cats. And in these 2 beds we've got tomatoes. These are sort of smaller, bushier tomatoes. You see they're flowering, they'll all be tomatoes. Hopefully we get really good crops off of them. We just haven't got the seed this year to grow. Again, can't get to the shops. But over here we have one of my absolute favourite sweet peas. My mum used to grow them, they've got so many memories. The best scent in the garden. Pick these flowers if you're growing sweet peas. These are annual sweet peas. You can get perennials that come back every year, but I don't think the flowers are as nice. You don't get the same kind of scent. You pick these flowers at least once a week, all of them, all off, and then they'll keep flowering all through the summer. These ones we planted in spring, started from seedlings in the cold frame, and they've only just started flowering now. If we'd planted them and had them overwintering in the cold frame, and we planted them sort of October time last year, they would all be huge. They'd have been flowering for weeks already. We keep cutting these all the time before they have a chance to go to seed, and they do form little pea pods, which you shouldn't eat. Do not eat them. Then the plant will have exhausted its energy. It'll go, right, I've done my job, I've made seed, and stop. So keep taking these off. It'll keep going, I need to make seed, and keep growing flowers right through August. Got our fruit trees here. These are patio trees. They're not going to grow very big. We hopefully will be ordering some pots for them, and hopefully being able to get some compost for them all. And then they're going to go out different places around the garden, give us some more fruit. Obviously the rhubarb's over here, huge, doing amazingly. And down here, this is all our courgettes. 6 pots. You can see we've got the flowers. The flowers are what grows into the fruit. Zucchini, if you prefer. Damn you Americans. And then here, last couple of things. This is our garlic. It's just starting to go over, it's starting to yellow. That's when it's going to be ready. So very, very soon, I'd imagine, we'll be harvesting this garlic. And then up here, we've got our carrots that are starting to look pretty good. With carrots, you need something deep, because obviously you're hoping that you're going to get big, long carrots. If you plant too shallow, or you're planting some really hard soil where a couple of inches down, they'll just they'll try and grow down, but they'll just end up being stumpy and weird and misshapen. But hopefully this video is recorded. Have a great time. I'll be back next month. There will be a bonus garden video coming probably next week. And until then, I love you all. Take care and bye-bye.
Bye.